So trust me, every being in my body hates to do a video like this. But I did a video where I added Calvin Johnson Jr. to the Kansas City Chiefs lineup. And I think today it's only justified with all the injuries that the Chiefs are going through at the receiver position, even though in this franchise they will have those receivers, meaning Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco. We added Tony G to their lineup. And we're going to see how well they do with Tony Gonzalez. And for some reason, he's supposed to be 6'5", but for some reason they made him 6'4". Anyway, though, let's go to depth chart because I do want to set this up correctly here. Yup, he is a starting tight end, which is correct. And we're just going to see. When you have Travis Kelce on one side, the other side, Tony G, both very good vertical threat tight ends. Plus, you do have your other receivers, Kansas City. Well, what's going to happen? And you barely beat the Ravens, actually, 27-24. And as always with these franchise videos, we will be doing two different simulations because it seems like the first time I do a simulation, I add the player. It never works out too well for some reason. EA just does not like to give like good simulations the first time I do them. So I always got to do it twice for that said reason. But so far they are currently 2-2, which in real life they are 4-0 without those receivers and of course without Tony Gonzalez. But so far Tony Gonzalez does have 359 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it looks like Kelce, though, unlike real life again, is actually very similar to Tony G. Actually 207 yards and 2 touchdowns. What does what does Kelce have in real life? I feel like it's not much because he's been like really doing bad this year, which apparently it's a mix of like he wants to do better, but it's helping out the team to win by him being a distraction. So far this year, he has 158 yards and no touchdowns. So that's really the biggest issue right now. But let's go into week 6 here. And now into week 7, they play the San Francisco 49ers, the 5-1 49ers. They lose that game, okay. Then they play the Las Vegas Raiders, which again, keep in mind, this should be the worst simulation of the two I do. So most likely this is going to be a negative when it comes to this being a good simulation. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, Buffalo Bills, Las Vegas Raiders, yet again, they beat them both times. So they are currently 8-4 on the year right now. They beat the Chargers, so now they play the Brownies. They lose to the Brownies, okay. They lose to the Deshaun Watson. Now they go ahead and lose to the Texans. And they're going to find themselves in a 9-7 record in the final week of the season. They do go 10-7, beating the Denver Broncos. And do win the division in the end, but 10-7, not what you would expect when you add in, a great, amazing asset like Tony Gonzalez. But just taking a look at stats here, see what happened. 45 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 4,600 yards. Isaiah Pacheco did lead the team in yardage, and surprisingly enough, Tony Gonzalez, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Marquise Brown had 13 touchdowns and 8 touchdowns for Kelce. So not a bad year altogether for the Chiefs here. Award winning, obviously, MVP is always him, it seems like. Surprisingly enough, though, for Offensive Player of the Year, Tony Gonzalez didn't even show up on the list, even though he had like 1,100 yards. I mean, I guess they kind of ranked that based on like wide receiver, tight end aspect, but I don't know. You would expect that to be different. So they do lose in the wild card to the Ravens. So let's see how this ends up going out. And again, keep in mind, we will be simulating it again after we get through this. Just so I know I'm going to get the comments, I'm going to say, this is so unrealistic. That's why we do 2 simulations. Because the second one usually is the more realistic one. So the Ravens do beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl in the end. Somehow Caleb Williams is still Rookie of the Year, Even though my Tony Gonzalez should be Rookie of the Year, which is bullcrap. But, okay. Guess that's a EA thing, I would say. Alright, so let's kind of... There we go. Let's kind of load through here. Alright, so let me make sure we set this up correctly yet again. So, first off, let me go ahead and make sure I put the tight end in here. As... Nope. That, right. Okay. My guy. Okay. Do it like that. And then that. Bro, what is going on here? Okay. Do that one. Okay. Hold up. I'm just going to do it through here. For some reason, that does not like to work. That does not like to work for whatever reason. I'm just going to do it like that. There you go. Tony Gonzalez is a starter. Let's just sim to the to the playoffs and see how this goes. Should go very well. Again, like I said, in the second simulation here, I don't know why, but whenever I create the player and I try to do the franchise, once you create but once you import a player into your franchise, first simulation always sucks. So let's see how it goes this time, and this time without importing it, the Chiefs ended up going 13-4. So, a lot better here. Did not win the AFC, sadly, but did go 13-4 in the end here. So, a lot better than my last sim. Patrick Mahomes, 45 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 100 yards. Isaiah Pacheco still had 1,000 yards on the ground. This time, Tony Gonzalez only had 955 yards and 10 touchdowns, interestingly enough. Kelsey had 971 yards in the end here and 7 touchdowns, interestingly. So overall, not too bad. Still better than the first simulation. Worse record-wise, but way better when it comes to the actual, like, team-wise. Team-wise is a lot better in this simulation than the other one. Which usually at least the team does better. Of course, MVP is Patrick Mahomes no matter what. Offensive Player of the Year. This time, Isaiah Pacheco showed up on the list, but did not show up on the list for our boy Tony Gonzalez, surprisingly enough. Let's actually check out the Rookie Award, because I did make Tony G a rookie. Which, of course, he does win Rookie of the Year. Let's go. So he does win Rookie of the Year. It's not snagged away by the man, Caleb Williams. And the Chiefs go 1-done in the playoffs again. I don't understand how, but you know what? I guess that's above my pay grade to understand EA Sports and their logic. But, of course, this is going to be a Super Bowl between the Ravens and the Eagles. Both 15-2. And in the end, the Ravens do win the game. So the Eagles lose another Super Bowl. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.